Hello and welcome, my fellow main characters. My name is Ben. Welcome back to the channel for another video. And welcome back to another My Hero Academia chapter review. I'm saying like another, like I do this on a regular schmegler. Today we're going to talk about chapter 305. Now, I'm not going to be like some other reviewers where I kind of like break down the chapter, although I might do that by accident. I more or less want to talk about my feelings about the chapter, what I kind of take from it, and what I kind of appreciate from the chapter. This chapter kind of like follows up where last chapter left off, where we're inside the mental, conscious, spiritual realm of One for All. Can I just say something, guys? I feel like there was an interview, I believe before. I think the interviewer asked Horikoshi, hey, have you ever watched Avatar The Last Airbender, right? And then I think Horikoshi said, no, I never watched that. And I'm like, you lie, head-ass Horikoshi. You're such a liar, bro. There's no way this man did not watch Avatar The Last Airbender. Like, look at this, yo. It's like, this is literally the Avatar state. Like, what Deku is in right now and his ability to talk to the previous holders of One for All, this is literally the Avatar state, just, you know, with superpowers instead of elements. And really enjoying the aspect of One for All where people's consciousness can still be there, because it adds so much more value to the quirk itself. So you don't just have the power and the physical strength of those that came before, but you also have their literal wills. You literally have their little experience. Like, I think it'll be absolutely awesome and cool. Deku gets to a point where he's in full control and mastery over One for All, where the past users actually come up and be like, hey, pay attention over there, look, someone needs help. Or like, oh wait, there's an attack coming from you at this angle, like dodge that. You know, it would be cool if they kind of just popped up like kind of like phased out spiritual beings saying like, yo, Deku, pay attention to this moment right here, or like that. Because I also think it was funny how in the previous chapter, I don't remember his name, but the previous user of Black Wit, how he was like, hey, you know, we understand that, you know, you're a growing boy and you need your privacy, so don't worry, we're not going to pop in on you when you're in the bathroom or like, you know, talking to girls or something like that. You know, we'll respect your privacy. We'll respect your privacy. You know, this actually brings to light the idea of, you know, maybe previous users being able to temporarily possess Deku, like not forcibly, because that doesn't seem like the vibe of anyone within the quirk, except for maybe the two that, you know, their face against the wall like this. Because we still don't know what they have going on. We still don't know what their objectives is within One for All, because they're out here being mad antisocial, just chilling by the wall. It brings the idea that maybe a past user might have like a family member or someone that they would like to speak with or say their last words with, and they potentially could, you know, speak through Deku. They potentially could take control of Deku's body if Deku willingly gives it to them for like a couple minutes and be like, hey, just to share their peace and everything. Also, is actually what we saw in this chapter that kind of was pretty cool to see, is that All Might's visage, when Deku was having this whole like, I'm a hero at all costs kind of speech, he was out here like, you know, crying. His visage was crying. So if Deku wakes up and we see All Might in the real world is actually crying, then that's gonna be totally awesome, because then we know that even though All Might is still alive, he's still connected to his visage and he can still commune and discuss within One for All, which would be pretty cool and interesting. The idea of this chapter, I enjoyed it because Nanoshimura seems like that one person that is like, you know, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Sometimes you got to end some villains' lives for the greater good. You know, she sees how her path to becoming a hero has created this threat, created this being. We also get a part in the chapter, and I don't know if this is going to be different in the Viz translation, but at least in the translation I was reading, it showed Shigaraki with the butterfly wings, right? And she mentioned her grandson, but then she interrupted herself and say like, that thing. So there's that first initial impulse of being like, you know, this is my family member, I obviously care about this person, but I have to kind of put that away for the greater good and recognize this thing recognize this creature as basically the cocoon for pure evil. Now, the similarities of how My Hero Academia is going with Deku and One for All to Aang and the Avatar state, it just keeps going, right? Because this is the exact position that Aang was put into in the series, right? Like throughout the whole series, it was implied that Aang is going to have a confrontation with the Fire Lord, and he's going to have to, like, that is the implication that, you know, the previous users of One for All was telling Deku, like, hey, you know, we know you're a 16-year-old kid and, you know, you're trying to be a hero and save people's lives, but some lives might not be able to be saved. Some things might just need to be X'd out of the equation, you know what I'm saying? And then Deku has his whole speech, and I love the transition where he just transitions to his younger self for like a quick moment, and I feel like that's so cool and pure because it kind of comes down to the essence of things. And I feel like this is, at least is my thought, this is at least my feeling when moving throughout life, is that a lot of the things I do in my life is trying to pay homage and respect to the child inside of myself, right? To the little kid that just loves watching anime, to the little kid that just loves hanging out with friends and running around and experiencing life. Is like, I try to, in a mature sense, cater my life towards helping to fulfill the wishes of the little child inside. I love that reference of, like, you know, Deku was going through his feelings and going through his true feelings of what it means to be a hero and what it means for him to be a hero. And he went to that younger self, went to that little kid version of himself where there's still like that glimmer of hope that he's going to get his own quirk. You know, he went to a version of himself where before he went to the doctor and before his mom cried and everything like that, the little version of himself that was just looking at All Might and his heroics and just can't wait to get his quirk so that he can become a hero just like All Might, right? And that little kid's ambition is just to be able to save everybody, you know? It's very pure. This series, right, is about the quest of being a hero, and like why it's important to be truly a hero. Why it's important, because I think that's what Horikoshi's been trying to bring up throughout this whole series. The idea is that it's not like a Saturday morning cartoon. It's not black and white if you're a good guy or a bad guy, right? A lot of it's based on your life experience. Like, even to this day, you know, 300 chapters later, I still feel for Stain. I still feel for Gentle and La Brava. You know, I don't feel for Muscular. Like, keep Muscular in prison. Keep Muscular in prison. In terms of the whole idea of being a villain, is that it's not just a person woke up one day and chose violence. It literally was small actions, small little things that happened to them over time on a consistent basis that cracked them and made no other route possible for them. You know, it basically closed off all routes for them to be heroic, for them to be a normal person. It literally was like life was just directing them down the path of villainy. I honestly would not even be surprised if Horikoshi pulls off a fast one and then we get some backstory of All for One and we're like, dang, are you really about to tell me All for One is not that bad of a guy? I personally am really enjoying where the series is going, and I love the cliffhanger at the end of this chapter because, you know, we still have those two characters that are just like, you know, being antisocial, like putting their face against the wall, and we got like a deliberate request from, you know, the originator of One for All to be like, hey guys, share your input, tell them about your quirks, you know, like, you know, add your advice. So maybe those guys were waiting to see that true conviction in Deku, right? You know, as long as you got a determined spirit and, you know, you're somewhat down the good path, we're good. You know, we'll go for that. So I wonder if those two in the back were waiting to hear about the determination, because for me personally as a reader, I'm not sure if I want Horikoshi to reveal that just yet, because I'm just thinking in terms of, okay, if we know everything that One for All has to offer, then the interest in the series kind of drops a little bit. Of course I'll still watch it, but I feel like having those two as mysteries, you know, like because the community, because the My Hero Academia community is so gung-ho on this theory that since those two characters, like one of those characters definitely looks like Bakugo from behind, and the other character kind of, some people are kind of assuming it might be Kirishima because of the hair structure. People are throwing out the idea of time travel, like maybe these are users that time traveled, maybe this is Bakugo and Kirishima that time traveled to the past and kind of expressed to the originator, like, hey, this is what your quirk does, right? Because when you really think about it, like, how did All For One's brother know about his quirk? Because technically, if you're just holding a quirk, it does nothing, right? Like, especially if you're the first one. If you're the first one, you're only stockpiling your own power, and so you've already been stockpiling your power. So literally, it's like, what does it do, right? So like, how do you know? Do you just get a feeling? Do you just get a sense that the quirk is like, hey, pluck out your hair and give it to somebody? Is that the vibe of what the quirk is telling you to do? Anyway, this chapter was pretty cool. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't anything like super groundbreaking or revealing about anything really. But it just kind of showcases the true core of what this series is about. The idea of a hero is someone that saves everybody, is someone that does their effort and has the intention of saving everybody. And you know, if you see someone crying out for help, a true hero, no matter who it is going to go out there and help that person. So anyway, my filmmaker characters, thank you for watching this video. Like the video if it made you smile, comment this video made you think, and subscribe to see more. Oh, and quick question, if you guys enjoy my discussions or talks about My Hero Academia, let me know with a comment section down below. Let me know if there's certain theories or ideas you want me to go into detail about, because I'm really starting to get back into the love of My Hero. I'm not sure if it's going to be a main piece of my content, but it's definitely content I'm more than willing to dive a lot more into and just talk with you guys about. So anyway, my filmmaker characters, always remember that you are the main character of your own story. My name is Bam, and I'm out.